VC, hello, John K. Tackett here, back from holidays. For some days, I managed to escape the city. I have records to show you, and I also have other news regarding my records. But I think I first gonna go with this hyped thread. Is enough, ever enough. My good friend Robert Z a thread, posted a question. I'm sure you know what's going on in the vinyl community. I was about to do a response on this, but I was on holiday, so I didn't have the time to do it. But I think I'm gonna share my small opinion because right now, in one hand, you've got Robert, and Robert is a collector that setting up lots of rules, and I'm gonna explain later what I'm thinking about it. On the other hand, you've got some irony, not exactly irony, but some people that strongly disagree with Robert, saying that what's the reason to collect records when you know that you're gonna be dead anyway, and what's the reason to do anything when you know you will be dead? I totally agree on this approach. I'm not gonna repeat all the things that that I saw in your video, guys, your videos. I just gotta mention two things in my point of view on this. First of all, is ownership. Owning a record, owning a car, owning whatever. It's not the same with listening. I'm not a completist. Well, I only got some artists that I am a completist. For example, my Dorothy Asby records or my Roy Ayers records. How long do I listen on them? I don't know. Once per year, uh, one record per year. I'm not talking about the whole collection of Dorothy Asby or Roy Ayers. But it doesn't matter because every day I can think, every second actually, every minute, I can think that I've got all Dorothy Asby's records, all, well, almost all Roy Ayers records. Having a record doesn't only mean that you're gonna listen to it and that's it. Many times I'm just, reorganizing my records, pulling stuff from the shelves, touching them, owning them. Um, One thing is this. On the other hand, I can totally understand Robert Z because I believe that sometimes we collectors are setting personal rules. I've done this a lot of times in the past, and I was the guy that posted, you know, threads like this, like Robert did. I mean, if you're feeling guilty, remember my first two contests. I asked if we're feeling guilty with records we're not playing, if we're feeling guilty of the money that we spent. I was the guy that was asking this. Vinyl community was never on fire because of those threads. But after those experience, my personal collecting experience, I learned this. It's good to having rules when you talk about how much money you spend on a record. It's good that you try to keep on a budget because you can't own every record, so you have to be selective what things you want in your collection. This is good, but personally, I was having rules like I will place all my records in these shelves before I will listen to them. First, I will clean them, I will add them to Discogs, and I'm not going to remove a record here. I'm not gonna put it, in another shelf in the normal spot, sorry, if I don't listen it fully. And you can understand what I mean. Lots of people having different rules. I remember one guy was talking about that he's never gonna put a record in his collection if he's not gonna listen it twice. You name it, everybody's got rules. And when we are talking about Robert Z, Robert, my friend, hope you are fine. We know that Robert is a little bit. I believe that you're a little bit confused in the moment, because in one hand you want to collect. You are keeping sealed records because you want to do it, and I'm totally fine with it. Uh, I remember showing your earlier videos. You wanted to sell this in one point of your life when you don't just want to pass those records to your family. It's 100% okay. But on the other hand, you are freaked out a little bit. Do you have any meaning of this? And is enough ever enough? Well, my 100%, based to my experience, answer to the question, is enough ever enough, is never enough. If you give me a factory with records, I still need to buy more records. And this is not because of listening, it's because of owning. I'm just realizing it that because I'm running and I'm opening a record store here in Thessaloniki. That means that I'm buying loads of records. I mean, I bought the size of my personal collection for the record shop for a week. That means that I've got like 1,000 records shipped to me for my store in 1 month. Believe me, it sounds very good and a dream come true. It is, but you can't listen to all of those records. No way. I mean, I'm gonna sell records that I'm not gonna listen to them, and this is absolutely normal. But on the other hand, I can touch them, I can smell them, I can put the price tags on it, I can add them to Discogs, I can categorize them. And you know something? Even now, I have the need to shop records for myself and for my record store. That means that enough is never enough. At least this is my experience with this topic. I don't want to do a huge video, but I wanted to share my personal opinion and my thoughts with you, Robert, because I love you. I think that you just need to take a break. I mean, relax a little bit, or at least don't set up rules, listening, spending, collecting rules that destroying the whole fun of record collecting. Not for me, I mean for you. Because when when you're feeling that something is wrong, that means that something is wrong. And believe me, I felt before, like 5, 10 times maybe, like Robert did. And that's because I was setting rules to myself. How much money I'm gonna spend, how many hours per music I need to spend on listening to records. And you know something? When I was on this silly rule with this inbox shelf here, I only listening to records here from this part of my collection and not from this part of my collection. And those are not all the whole of my collection. I've got even more. It's not a huge collection, but it's something that I'm proud of. It's my taste here. Not only my taste, money, time, heart. You know what I've did wrong? I forced myself to listen records like this. Interstellar soundtrack. And you know something? You can't listen to this music 24/7. It can be that I'm not in the right mood. So for a period of time, I was listening to records that I really don't want to listen to. Because it was a rule that I have to listen first the records that I bought and then everything. And after some time, I realized that I was not so happy to listen to my records at all because I was forcing myself. And then the fun went away. So what's the point of doing this? And then I stopped this rule, and right now, I'm having my big in bookshelf, especially those days, because with the record store, I'm keeping lots of copies for myself, and doesn't mean that I have to listen to them now. I can listen to them next week, next month, or next year. I mean, it doesn't matter. Time is limited. I agree with you, Robert. We're not gonna live forever. That means that we need to spend our time how we want it. I want to listen something else now, and I don't want to obey to a silly rule because this is a silly rule. It's not a money rule. Okay, I will spend $50 this month. This is important. Okay, I can understand. But rules like this, it's rules that we are setting up for ourselves, and the only thing that we are doing, in my personal experience, and this is my personal opinion, is that we are setting traps to ourselves because we are destroying the fun of record collecting. Robert Z, I love you. I wanted to do this reply to you. I don't want you to feel bad with your collection. You've got an amazing collection. You've got Japanese pressings. You've got even jazz records because you are not a jazz collector. But I'm so jealous. Your collection is amazing, and please, 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 don't freak out and enjoy it. Enough is never enough, my friend. Thank you for watching, Vinyl Community. It was a long video after all, having me talk with my bad English, but hope that you make the point of what I said, and I really like those threads. I really like people talking. Vinyl Community, it's not only for sharing music. Of course, it's important, but we're having the same feelings, We are doing the same thing. We're collecting records and we are music lovers. And as Sonic Mayliner said today, hello Andreas, we are vinyl junkies. You know what junkies means? Yeah, that's what we are. So we need to express ourselves together. Vinyl Community, love you all. I'm gonna do a video update and I'm gonna share all the news, all my record store news that we are opening in September here in Greece in my next video. Promise. Cheers. Bye.